Welcome to Talking About It. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff.
And I am still JC Alvarez.
Unfortunately, I'm just kidding.
Welcome to another live show right here from our beautiful couch set.
In scenic downtown Flushing.
Scenic downtown Flushing. How
Don't
are
get
you
me
guys doing? Are you preparing for this massive winter blizzard that's coming?
Listen,
No more.
a client told me today, we're just talking, chatting, and she's like, oh, Thursday, 6 to 10. And I just went, seriously?
It's like this has been like really like a hectic winter. And
It's been like a winter out of the 70s.
Yeah.
When we had winters.
Oh, it's all because of Obamacare.
And it's like our new mayor has to adjust to sort of like all the new rules and taking care of the city and you know,
Listen, wait, can
getting
I
stuff
just
out
say
there.
one thing?
Yeah.
Why are there still piles of garbage on the street, Mayor de Blasio? If somebody else was still in office, it would have been gone.
He would have paid for it himself, though.
Listen, I don't care about kindergarten, pre-K right now. I care about garbage and snow. And old people slipping and falling, people breaking wrists, ankles, elbows, hips.
Getting hit by ice blowers.
It's a mess.
that constant like ice thing. So we're gonna get another winter storm. I for one am really kind of like done with winter already.
You
Me
are.
too.
Yes.
You guys are.
I'm leaving town on Friday, so
Well, where are you going?
where else do I go?
Miami.
If you can get out of the city.
Oh, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
Now,
it's gonna
see,
be-
you
it's
might
gonna
have
be
just
tough.
jinxed
Well, I do have that capability.
your Cuban superpowers.
Yes. yes. My Cuban superpowers. So what else is going on? What have you been up to? Have you been doing any comedy lately, young lady?
Yes.
Yes.
I
you have.
was cultural. I went to the Metropolitan Opera over the weekend, and I saw Deflate a Mouse.
Oh, how was that?
It was wonderful. It was really something. It was really wonderful. And awesome seats. Couldn't have asked for better seats. We had an entire box to ourselves. There's no joke in that. Just saying, I had a box to myself.
Interesting.
I actually do. I have a show on Friday, Valentine's Day. You know Valentine's.
Yeah, I heard about it. Whatever.
No, I will be doing Butski and Glasscock's new talent blowout at the Pit at 9:30. It's downstairs in the basement. It's going to be weird, so come.
Well, that's a lot more. That sounds very exciting, and we're very
It
happy
is.
for you. John and I are also going to be very busy next week.
Where are you going?
We're going to be covering the premiere of RuPaul's Drag Race for season
Where?
6 at Stage 48, right, John?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. All the new contestants from the show are going to be there.
Wait, y'all go together?
Well,
Hand in hand skipping.
That's gay.
we're going to be covering meeting all the new contestants.
That sounds like fun.
Michelle Visage will be there as well, who's one of the judges of the show, and she's a lovely lady. And Bianca Del Rio, who is our local girl, I like to call, is a contestant this season. And it's kind of controversial that they've included someone in the cast that has the legs that Bianca has. So we're actually going to get to see how Bianca interacts with some of these other girls that are
What do
doing
you
a lot of
mean?
it. Well,
Backgrounds.
Well, Bianca Del Rio has had an amazing career in drag, and she's actually has a show at the.
So do people
on
think that like
42nd.
she's got like some kind of unfair advantage?
I don't. You know,
something?
I asked her that. I asked her if she felt she had an unfair advantage being brought in, especially because she's been working with Lady Bunny for so many years, and she's very familiar within the drag community. And she said that she did not feel she had an unfair advantage. You know, she felt like just one of the contestants on the show, and that she had a lot to learn from the other cast members. So
what's the problem?
I'm not saying that there's a problem. I'm just saying that's interesting.
I'm asking you rhetorically.
It's
That is
competitive. It's
interesting.
interesting to see, like, you know, that now this show that's become this phenomenon is now we know these cast members. Like I said, we're going to know a lot of these people that are coming into the show.
Yeah,
They're not unknowns like they have been in the past. I mean, now we all know Manila Luzon and all these other and Carmen
Right.
Carrera. But I mean, you know, remember when we interviewed them way back in the day
Yeah.
when they were still just trying to establish
Just
themselves.
contestants, really.
Yeah. And now they're all like, you know, making music and stuff.
I think it's exciting. Anything that can spotlight members of our community, I think, is a good thing, you know? And imagine like some person stuck in Nebraska or something and they're going to see this. They're not going to know who the fuck the contestants are.
Such language.
Well, I mean,
It's you guys are my first human contact, like second human contact all day. So
well, in the acronym LGBT, the T is often very silent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is, Drag Race partially helps to change that.
Yeah, it's interesting how it has gotten such a foothold within mainstream culture, and really brought an art form to a whole new level, but how it also has really made celebrities out of Carmen Carrera, who's now a transgender individual. She was a contestant on the show when she wasn't transitioning, and now Carmen is a spokesperson for the transgender community, which is really quite phenomenal, and it's really interesting to be in on that journey, like to have seen her transition to this global phenomenon, if you would, because she's a muse for like a lot of artists, including Stephen Meisel, who worked with her on a photo campaign in W Magazine and stuff. So it's kind of amazing. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm a little jealous.
Well, you should be.
We need to get you in the field more.
You need to get in the field more. See, because when you go on the field, you get exposed to a lot of cultural things.
Oh, make me so angry sometimes.
I have one too.
We've got the writer of the book Nothing Like a Dame, Eddie Shapiro, who's going to be here, and for musical theater
he's
fans.
going to be quite a good guest.
Well, for musical theater fans, it's such a great history of the ladies in musical theater, and really, especially amongst, they become divas and icons amongst us gay men.
Oh my God, he's so exclusionary today.
Well, it's like, we
Are
don't,
you sure
well,
you're-
maybe Eddie will tell us a story about maybe like one of your folk within the context of his book. I don't know.
Do you want to go home in one piece tonight?
I'm just
Would
saying.
you like to smack him with the book?
I'm just saying, but it's a great
might enjoy it.
it's a great book, and we're gonna bring him out in just a second so you can tell us all of the tidbits and the stories that made nothing.
See, I don't have the book yet, but
You can read my
flipped through-
copy.
Can I seriously? Because I will whip through that like nobody's. I love books like that.
Yeah.
I'll whip through that like nobody's business.
Yeah,
That's gonna. It looks just chock full of good stuff.
good stuff. Do we want to bring Eddie out now?
I guess so.
We might as
Eddie,
We
well.
may as well.
Why don't you come join me on the couch, Eddie?
I just happened to be standing right by. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, scooch over. He wants
Hi,
to get close
Eddie.
to you.
Wait, I watched The View. I'm supposed to get up and kiss her.
Mwah.
I'm the whoopee. I don't get up and.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
You are the whoopee.
And you
You
don't
are
wear
the
a bra
whoopee.
either.
You're totally the
Have you
whoopee.
noticed that on The View, how Whoopi's has kind of like lately been like.
She's over it. She's over it.
Maybe
She's like
she's
Jenny McCarthy.
tired.
We hired you to kiss. Kiss. That's yeah. Totally.
As long as everyone has their shots.
Right. Totally.
So Eddie, tell us a little bit something about Nothing Like a Dame, because I mean, like we were talking about, it's such a great and just fun read. What was like putting this tome together?
I don't know. I started in like 1947, so I don't remember. Really, it took forever because, and I didn't think it was going to be that. I never thought it was going to be that. Nobody does. You think you're starting writing a book, but you sit down with, say, Chita Rivera, and the first time you're sitting down with Chita Rivera, she says, "Oh, I've got 90 minutes." Okay, I'll do 90 minutes, knowing that that's not going to be enough. But we'll start, and it's tip of the iceberg. And she shows up 20 minutes late, so 70 minutes, and you've done a teeny bit, so we have to schedule another session. But between her schedule and mine, that's 9 months hence, and then it ends up being 5 sessions with Chita. Now you multiply that by 20 women, and it's 5 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I've aged. I can't even read it anymore. My eyes are gone. So
Did you have a wish list going in? Like, did
Absolutely.
they have to be a certain caliber of musical theater icon?
Yeah, there was absolutely a criteria for how you ended up in the book, because otherwise I knew that there would be queens everywhere who'd be pissed at me for not including X, Y, or Z person. So the criteria was that you had to have a full career in musical theater. So there's no like, I'm Barbara Streisand, I did 2 musicals and peace out Broadway. Like you had to have
Not
a
that he
full-
won't talk to Barbara Streisand.
Right. Well, not in this book, I won't.
Okay.
Honestly, as much as I'd love to talk to Barbara Streisand, it's something else. And there were no, I'm Jennifer Holliday. I did 1 show. Bye-bye. And no, I'm Liza Minnelli. Now I drop in occasionally, and then I go be famous for other things. And you had to have a career in musical theater, which isn't to say
That makes sense.
It doesn't have to be exclusively musical theater. They all do other things, but
Right.
really committed to a career. And then you had to have at least 1 Tony Award and at least another nomination or another major award. So that cut out some certain Bridges of Madison County people. And then, no, I love her, but her time will come, but not for this book. Yeah, not yet. And and then the other really crucial thing is you had to say yes when I asked. Not everybody did. So if you had to say yes. And there were a couple who said no. I don't begrudge them that.
Well, you said it covered a certain period of time. To put it together, really was like 20 years?
No, it was 5.
Oh, good. All
It was
right.
really 4, and then 5. It takes a year after you hand in the manuscript, but it was 4.
Was there one particular interview the one that surprised you the most?
Oh, well, it depends on what you mean by surprise, because there are the surprises of content. You think you know these women, you think you know their careers, and then they say things and you go, oh, like what? Never read that or saw that. Like, for example, Audra McDonald's actually a good one. Audra.
Such a beautiful voice, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they're all.
Did you make her sing?
I did not make her sing. I did not
I would've been
make her
like-
sing. No, because I think that would be a really good way to get myself out of the room. Although some of them did spontaneously sing. Like when I interviewed Barbara Cook, who's not in the book but I did interview her for this, and she sang for me just because she was saying, I'm not going to. Sorry, I take that. Erase that. That didn't happen. I didn't just try to approach.
It is a live show, Eddie.
No, I meant in the minds of your viewers, because he's like that homo just tried to do Barbara Cook, but she just broke into song, and it was lovely and charming and goosebump inducing. But Audra, Audra is somebody who. 5 Tony Awards, right? You don't get more accomplished than that. I know, right?
Yeah.
You don't get more accomplished.
Voice, yeah.
And for her to say that she still has the insecurity of waking up and thinking today's the day that they're going to realize I'm a fraud.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Yeah, so that's a shocker, that sort of. And then sometimes humans shock me, as opposed to the non-humans. The women shock me, not with what they said, but who they were. Like. There were a couple of them I was absolutely terrified to meet. Patti LuPone, I was terrified. I'm like, she's going to eat me. And she said no to doing this book about 17 times before she said yes. So
Really?
So I thought, and it turned out, I mean, she was writing her own. But she wasn't clear about that. I just kept getting no, so. But then when she said yes, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be so hard because she's going to be so mean to me. She could not have been sweeter, more gracious, more welcoming. She baked bread for me.
Wow.
So just the totally antithesis of what I expected. Yeah, right. Come on, you liked it.
That's another day at the park for me.
So all kinds of surprises in there, and then sometimes also just the opposite, like Angela Lansbury, CoverGirl here, exactly who you expect her to be and exactly who you want her to be. Just a class act and just so generous and kind, and
Did they dish? Did they give you like evil gossip?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, but none that he can repeat.
Well, is there I can repeat gossip about dead people. There's one that's just it's too classic. It's actually one of my favorite moments from the process. So I'm talking to Carol Channing about having fallen off the stage, and she said, "Oh, I fell off the stage several times. I broke this elbow, I broke my ankle." And she's talking about all her. And I said, "Well, you know about when Ann Miller fell off? Ann Miller fell off a stage. Yes, when she was doing Sugar Babies, she fell off a stage during a rehearsal, and they found a 6-inch nail in her wig, but they didn't find it till late that night because it was in the wig and nobody knew. And so she stares at me and then she goes, "Wig!" And then she said, "Well, I have an Ann Miller story for you. When she replaced Angela Lansbury in Maine and she had her accident, she filled out her insurance papers. Name, Ann Miller. Occupation, star, because obviously she's occupied with being a star. Cause of accident, big yellow prop moon." Now, can you imagine such a thing?
Oh
Big
my
yellow
God.
prop moon. These are insurance men. They don't know from big yellow prop moon. But if you see Ann, you mustn't tell her I told her. And I said, "Well, I can't, Carol, because she's no longer with us." "That's right." I mean, genius, genius.
Was your intention also when you were putting this together? Because with this, what happens with a book like such as this, it becomes really part of musical theater history.
That's the hope.
Yeah, does that weigh on you? Do you feel the
Absolutely.
relevancy
What do you
of
mean
that?
that's the hope? It already is.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been out for a day. Let's not, But I and this will sound so schmaltzy and hallmarky, but what the hell? Here we are in Queens. I grew up, poring over books like this one, and literally I would sit on the mezzanine level of B. Dalton on 57th and 5th and just, look at all these books and save up and buy them and just memorize them. So to think that, God willing, some 13-year-old is now going to be poring over this and realizing, oh, the mother's like, I think he's gay. But I do hope to sort of, the story goes on as they say.
I can imagine you probably have enough material for volume 2.
Yeah, although there's some decision making about volume 2.
Ooh.
I mean, well, maybe that woman will win a Tony and then she'll end up in volume 2. But there are people who are desperately wanting me to do more women, but also, I mean, isn't it time to bring on the men?
Right.
So,
right.
So we'll see. But I'm doing something because nobody has shot me yet. So I'm doing something. I will do something
these
next.
are seriously some living legends.
They really are, and it was an absolute. I mean, you want to talk pinch me moments. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that Elaine Stritch is berating me over tea. Like it's just crazy stuff. Or it's even today I was hanging out with Leslie Uggams in her house, and just to be, I'm like, I'm sitting on Leslie Uggams' couch. What it's just having, as I said, grown up addicted to this stuff. To now kind of find myself on the living room couch. It's crazy, and it's still not real to me.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be pretty surreal. Yeah.
It's surreal, and and some of, last night I did a signing at Barnes & Noble. You're all too late, I'm sorry. But there was a signing at Barnes & Noble, and 4 of the women came to that, and tomorrow I'm doing the 92nd Street Y with Laura Benanti, and they get nothing out of this. They're just showing up for me, and that's so kind. And also, it's
there's some really great archival photographs in the book as well. Which
of Leslie with a lot of tail feather. A lot of tail feather going
Shaking
on
a
there.
tail feather.
Yeah, and Hallelujah Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that they are showing up for these things makes me feel like, okay, I didn't terrify you. You don't,
No, they clearly liked you.
Well, some pretended. And then there are some who asked me to cut their chapters so they didn't like me so much.
Really?
A couple, yeah.
Who was the most grounded?
Grounded, that's a really good question. Despite all of the bravado and the character, I actually think that Elaine Stritch, there's not a false bone in her. I mean, she's also terrifying. I mean, she will say to me, can we drop F-bombs here?
Yeah, go for it.
She would say, what the fuck kind of question is that, AD? That's 50 years ago. How the hell am I supposed to remember? Like that's grounded. There's no pleasantry. There's no, it's. But who else actually really surprised me in terms of just her serenity about it all was Idina Menzel. She takes it and herself, and I don't mean that in a bad way, seriously. So when she discusses her career, she's not sort of self-effacing. She doesn't sort of make fun of herself. She's pretty, yeah. And that was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
And that's a great lesson for a lot of actors that are coming up in the business now, because these are names that, for all intents and purposes, some of them really get lost in the sauce. They don't get the acclaim that they should have, and especially with the way we focus so much on pop music and popular culture. And this is live theater. This is a history of live theater, and the people who have to do it 8 nights a week, and just like really blow our socks off all the time. I love that you also listed the show credits.
Well,
and you can really see the history of these individuals.
Of their careers,
gosh,
well, and that's Judy Kaye's, which is, it's, like my arm, baby's arm. But she...
So inappropriate.
Baby's arm? What's inappropriate about baby's arm? But no, I thought that was important reference just for people to have context, because I didn't want to, sort of have to annotate the chapters for people who may not be quite as familiar. So it was just, an added thing in there. But also, it gives some great perspective. And Judy Kaye, you talk about people who get sort of, lost, and people, obviously, you think of Broadway divas, of course you're thinking of Patti LuPone, you're thinking of Bebe Neuwirth, but Judy Kaye is not necessarily someone who comes immediately to mind, and it's another one of my favorite quotes in the book. Near the end, I asked her, because she's very clear about sort of where she fits in all of it and has no rancor about it. She just knows her place. And I said, do you ever consider your place in the pantheon of musical theater stars? And she said, in all the tomes that have ever been written about the musical theater, my name is never mentioned. And I said, and yet here I sit. And she said, I know, it blows the whole fucking thing to shit.
But she gets a whole chapter. She gets a chapter in the book. Very exciting stuff. What a beautiful, what a Valentine to the real.
What a Valentine or President's Day gift for your dry cleaner.
Where is your book available, Eddie?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you should ask.
I need to get my own copy.
Actually, that's a thank you for bringing that up, because obviously it's available where books are sold, Barnes & Noble and Amazon, but it is also available through Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And if you buy it through Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, you get a bonus chapter that is not available anyplace else.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's an extra chapter
Guys,
through Broadway
that's
Cares.
motivation
and,
to-
and of course the money goes to Broadway Cares, and they
Wonderful.
get not only the money on the book, but I've given them my royalty. That 75 cents goes right to them.
Thank you.
So
That's phenomenal.
yeah. So
They do such great work.
they're fantastic. They're fantastic. So I'm very happy to be able to use this as a way to help them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a wonderful read. The book is nothing like a dame. And,
John actually gave me the best compliment today. He said he missed his subway stop on the way because he was so engrossed in the book.
Sure, yeah. He's also really like a hard reader.
Well, either that or he's asleep. One of those things.
Actually, the book is actually perfect subway reading.
I don't want to hear that.
Because it's not linear. You can read a
Yes,
chapter
right,
on your
that's
way to
true.
work, and then
Well, may I ask again
it's
for
complete
your
and
readers? Oh, look at BB, look
at
at BB.
BB.
But for readers who are reading it on the subway, if you would all just mind reading it like this, that would be great. just that little bit, okay? That'd be so nice.
Because in that way everyone can see it.
Right.
thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me here.
Listen,
Really.
write another one quickly and then come back.
Okay, I'll see
Yeah.
you next week.
All right.
Should be no effort.
No problem.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you, Eddie.
No, we're not.